Hey guys, MGAF21 here, and this is the mother of all double wall bases. So all you gotta do is get a triangle foundation, place it down, should probably not be on God mode, and build a circle with it. That's all you gotta do, step one. So now, pick a side, like pick whatever one triangle that you want to go off of, and go 4 half triangles out. So that's 1 right there. That is 2, 3, 4. And now you're gonna block it off, like, so you're gonna top it off. So you're gonna end with this one. So now, all you gotta do is delete all the ones that are not for the block off. So now, what you do is build squares back all the way until right here. And you see, it starts to like clip through the other triangle. So you're gonna delete that one. So now it sticks through. So now this is the tricky part. You're gonna have to make sure that you have stone and or sheet metal, because sometimes it doesn't just flat out work like this. See how it's like working for that, but it doesn't work whenever it laps over. So you have to upgrade to stone or sheet metal, and you see there, that's when it starts lapping over. Upgrade that. And delete all this. If I can. There you go. Alright, so that was 4 out. So now, also another little tip, never try to go in sporadic order. Always try to like go one side and keep going one side. That is what I found out that helps me the most building this base, because there's no more like, it feels like whenever you go out of order, it really doesn't work as well. So I feel like the more you are in order and just keep going in order, it works better. Sometimes, like 99% of the time, should work when you go in order. But sometimes it does mess up some of the time, so you have to like backtrack. We'll see. But so now this one, you're going to go 5 out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and cap off. Double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do the same thing. Clear all the ones that are not for the cap. Now you do the same exact thing. Build squares back. But instead on this one though, you stop like a square short. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna put triangles. Remove that middle one and do that. And do the same exact thing. Upgrade to stone. And see, now sometimes it does this, where it just does not want to work at all. Sometimes you gotta demolish it. Get the sheet metal maybe. Oh, saw something there. It's really finicky sometimes. Sometimes it's really hard to get the absolute. There you go. So that one, sheet metal worked. Like I said, sometimes it works with stone, sometimes it works with sheet metal. It's very tricky. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for the most time, all you gotta do is just try to find that one spot that it laps. Because now, you see, this is all double wall. Same with this one. So it's very nice. Alright, so you got these 2, right? Now all you're gonna do is copy this first one. So you're gonna go 4 out with triangles. So it's basically every other one that you do, this one and then this one. So you start off with the 4 going out, 4 triangles going out, and then you go with 5, and then you go with 4, then you go with 5. It's every opposite one. So back to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and cap it off. Did I delete one? Oh, that's it's not good. Yeah, you definitely don't want to delete anything in this base, because it could cause a major problem later on. Alright, so come back here. Go back to squares. Move. Put down a square. See, like, it never really worked with thatch for some reason. Don't know why. But once you upgrade to stone or sheet metal, it seems to work. So that was 4. Now we go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'll delete that one later so I don't mess up any of the other ones. Squares back until you get to 1 away. Which is right here. So now you can build triangles again. So it connects. Remove. Triangle. Upgrade the stone. See, we're having another trouble again with it. Oh, there you go. Stone it is. And every time you gotta make sure that it's overlapping. Every time. Because when it doesn't overlap like this, you will not get the double wall. And this is basically so on and so forth. So once you get done, it will look like this. Okay, so whenever you're done with that, this is what it will look like. It's very simple, not too hard. Just a little time consuming because you gotta remove and then build out, remove. It's a little time consuming, so make sure that you're kind of protected whenever you're doing this. So I would also recommend building like a little side base so you can start building this because it's kind of hard to make this into like a little starting base. You could definitely do it, but it's definitely recommended to try build like a little bit of side base like over to the side so you can kind of work on this and so you don't have to worry about getting destroyed when working on it. So like I said, whenever you get this formation down, you can move on to the next part, which is getting squares into here. Luckily it just placed. Sometimes it doesn't place all the way. So when it doesn't place like that, upgrade to stone, and it usually ends up working. And again, this is all in order. Make sure you go all the way to the round to the left if you start to the left. Just like before. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. And upgrade that. So now, you have this design. For the most part, it's almost done. So now, all you have to do is make the double wall gap. So you're going to go to one of the square sides, like in the middle, and you're going to go out 8 squares. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll be really 7, but you're got to make a cap. So really go out 7 and then make a cap. So then delete all this. And you're going to build back with triangles this time instead of squares. So you go all the way back, and you make sure that there is a gap. You see that gap right there. That is when you know you've done it right. When you do it wrong, there will be no gap. See? That's simple. So now all you're going to do is fill it in correctly. Just make sure that it's always on the right side. So there's no gap there, so that's really good. So yeah. You want to make sure there's a gap all the way through. Just go ahead and delete this. Alright, so now what you can do is you can build a square foundation. Make sure it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 triangles out. And then you can start doing this. Square, triangle, square. So now all of this is a gap. And we'll fill this in later, so you don't have to worry about that. But right now, oh, that is wrong. See, now this is where I screwed up. There's no gap there. So I have to make sure that I go back and have a gap. Because I am not placing it right. So I actually don't know why it's not placing right now. Oh, there you go. Just had it. There you go. It's a little tricky. Sometimes it doesn't like to work, but you know when it does when there is a gap right there. So always make sure there's a gap right there. So that's one of the double wall layers. Again, for the square, triangle, square. Get all the stone. proceed with the triangles again. There's a gap there. Not wanting to place. There you go. Square again, triangle, and square to top it off. Continue upgrading with the stone. See, now you see there's a double wall here. There is a double wall here. So all this is just double wall. So they have to get through 4 walls just to get to the center, just for the double wall part. So it's very, very good. I don't know why that didn't. Did I delete that by accident? Alright. So now that's filled in. Now we're gonna want to fill in these triangles right here. So what you're gonna want to do is make sure that your triangle is on the outside. So like on this square, you're gonna make sure it wants to place on this square. So this is wrong, because see, there's a gap right there. You don't want that gap. What you want is it to be, this one's the tricky part. Sometimes it wants to work and sometimes it doesn't. Once you get one down though, you can automatically place the other one because it gets connected to it. So once you find that one spot that makes it work, go ahead and place the second one down. Like I said, this one's the tricky part. This one's hard to, finesse it. There it is. See, now they're both connected. Basically what that's for is for stability issue. So once you start building up, you won't be worried about stability. And same thing with this one. Just make sure it's always on the outside one and not the inside one. There you go. And one more time. See, it wouldn't let me place it because it's already snapped onto the right way. Alright, so this one is for, you can stop here if you want. This is mainly for like a smaller group, like 3 to 4 people. I recommend though building more, like I'm going to show you, just because it's a lot more safer. And obviously if you have the resources, it's definitely better to just upgrade your base, because obviously you don't want to get raided too easily. So like I said, this one you can go ahead and stop right here if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep going. So what you're going to do is you're going to go off the triangles, you're going to make squares. And then once it gets to the square, you're going to go around and just patch it up. And this adds an extra layer of honeycombing that people have to get through. It's a little bit more cost consuming, but I feel like it's a lot better in the long run. This is the extra wall that people have to get through. Go ahead and fill all this in. And there you go. Upgrade all this to stone real quick. Alright. So that is the finished design of the base. As you see, it is very, it takes a lot of C4 to get to these to the very center of the base.